Hiya, YouTube. I am Shaggy. I am Phil Alitea. I'm sat here in my underwear, eating my breakfast because I do things backward. I have to work first before I can feel like I've earned food. So that puts my hygiene schedule and it puts my day on hold until I feel like I've worked. So I got a whole bunch of shorts up today. So now I'm eating. I'm sat here and my phone was over here between my knees. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking about, what if I went live? What if I went live and I did you guys? I did you guys the way TikTok and YouTube girls do you. I just sit you down here right between my legs and let you look at the puff. Hello, friend who just joined me. You might not want to sit through what I'm talking about, but what if I just stuck my phone right there between my legs and let you look at the puff of my genitals against my underwear, like TikTok girls and YouTube girls do? Just the whole conceit is just to sit here and pretend like I'm being intellectual and pretend like I have something to say, pretend like I'm the kind of person who has deep thoughts. But really, I'm just finding an excuse for you to look at the puff of my genitals. What if I did that today? And see, if I did it, if I did it, I wouldn't be pretending. I would just, my balls rested on your chin while I'm talking about the thing I want to be talking about. Hello, passerby. I am Shaggy. I am Philalitea. And I am talking inappropriately on YouTube for the purposes of art and truth speaking. Uh, what up? How you doing? Hello, Tabang. Did I get close with that? You probably don't pronounce the T, right? Ooh, that was a good burp. Good morning, passerby. How are you doing? I'm eating my breakfast. I just put my clothes on, so... Well, you talk like one, Captain Blackbeard. You make a first impression of one, so... Well done, dumbass. I'm alright, Bang. It'll be better when I've got this guy muted. Done. Better now. Glad to hear you're doing well. I'm eating my dollar and a quarter granola bar breakfast, and then I'm gonna head up to Panera and get something to drink, and come back and go live. And we'll probably probably end up reading something by Plato because that's where I'm at. Ing or Ying? Yeah, cool. Nice to make your acquaintance and have permission to use your name. Ing, using. I'm getting my shoes tied. I guess I could have you turn so you can see what I'm looking at least. Tung, like that. Tung. Ying. I can understand that. I can understand how that spelling makes those sounds. Is that I'm trying to pick through the language families that I know, or rather the languages that I know and the countries that I know that speak those languages, and I'm not coming up with a place that's going to make me sound anything, but ignorant. Because I don't actually know the world map as well as I should. And I'm going to say the place I don't mean. So it's great to make your acquaintance. Hey, what up, Josh? How you doing, buddy? Woo! It's warm in here today. Nah, Carrie, I'm just finishing up my bath, getting dressed. Finished getting dressed. I opened by suggesting how ridiculous it would be if I did something lewd today. Collapsing the trash from my breakfast to put it in yonder bag, which really needs to go up to the dumpster. So maybe I do that today. I'm glad to hear you can't complain, Josh. I'm sure you could complain. The joke around here is, I can't complain. Well, I could complain, but nobody wants to hear about it. And I was going to say, I'm sure you could complain, and I'd listen to you talk about it if you really wanted to. I'm good, dude. I'm good. A Patreon subscriber and producer of the channel sent me money a couple days ago, so I've got money to eat on. I could replace my microphone if I really wanted to, but it was starting to stress me out trying to manage using it and charging my phone, because charging the base cost extra resources. So for now, that was just a $20 mistake on my part, losing that. And luckily, from the perspective of somebody who's not me, it wasn't my money. I don't mean that. But I think on some level he keeps expecting me to say that or think that. He's a good kid. He's a better person than to think I'm a dickhead. Just to be a dickhead, but I need to clean my hat too. I need to wash my hair again. I have links to my Twitter. I don't use Instagram, and I'm not on TikTok. There's a link to my Twitter on my profile. I don't use it. I haven't actually used my Twitter since I became homeless. I can only focus on one job at a time, and trying to make money by monetizing on Twitter and trying to make money by providing value on YouTube is just not worth the effort on my part. I barely keep up with my Patreon. Like, I don't use it for busy work anymore. I don't have anybody that checks on it when I do use it for busy work, and it doesn't generate its own income. Well, traffic to it doesn't generate a passive income. So I only have the temperament to focus one job at a time. So I focus on YouTube. Yash, I was about to say, you can tell from my accent, buddy. You can tell from my accent and my idiom that I am not from the UK or anywhere in Europe. It's the big enough platform that I'm talking about, but I can't focus on growing an audience on multiple platforms. I can only do one job at a time. I've been working at this YouTube channel for over 2 years now, 2 years and a week, and I'm still at 320 or wherever I'm at. So big enough platform is, well, it's not about being hard. Everything worth doing is difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna start losing my hair. to the alopecia and the not being able to get the sweat off it during the day. That's all right. I do. I can see it. I'm all red and inflamed there. I wore my hat for too long the last couple of days. I don't like the shape of my head. So I've always worn my hair long, but it's just too hot. It's just too hot. I don't even like keeping my face shaved like this. But yeah, I might have to. How hot is it? It's in the 70s today. It might climb up into the 80s, but it's approaching the hottest part of the day. That was funny. Ying, that was funny to me. Or Ying, that was funny to me. So I'm getting the last of my cleaning in. I gotta brush my teeth. I've already determined to myself that if I keep the stream on when it's time to brush my teeth, I'm gonna brush my teeth on stream and you guys just get to cope. I think I just threw that tick right into the chair that I was gonna go sit in. It's 76. How's the humidity over there? It's like 90% humidity here. The humidity is actually bananas. Bananas. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the stay inside humidity index, like the just if you have to work outside, have a bottle of water on hand, that kind of hot. Rather that kind of heat. It feels like being at a swimming pool. If you know what that feels like, the air around a swimming pool. How to say I really care to you? No, not in Italian. I don't know how to do the emphasis really, and I don't know the verb care in Italian. Invincible. Well, I can only assume, Invincible, that you're going to say something offensive, so I'll read it on camera. So I'm not going to read anything that you say from this point on until you stop jerking me around. Hello, Christopher. Say molto importante sounds like you're saying you're very important. I'm doing all right, Christopher. I'm eating my breakfast at the tent while the landscaper guys troll around up top. So hopefully nobody throws a rock through my tent again this week. Homeless. Hello, Lukey. I need to read your gospel. Homelessness happened to your mother, T? I'm sorry, Ying? Are you, Christopher? How you enjoying it? Hmm. It's a pain in the butt. No, my glasses are very not new. My glasses are about 5 years old. You can't relax, Christopher? Are you doing the homeless shelter route? I hear you, Victoria. Been homeless for a while. Couch surfing. Chris says he's couch surfing. I'm saying that for the future, in case they can't see the comments. I post these. For the future. This is 23. Are you trying to get a place? Trying to find work? What's up? The woman who made me homeless pays my phone bill, Andrew, man. I talk about this all the time. It's a bad question. And it's asked in bad faith. Thomasville, I don't remember anything either positive or negative about you. Oh, dude. Actually, this vape was bought by Mr. S, my Patreon subscriber. Are there a lot of people who pretend to be homeless? Well, then why did you say like me? Why do you think I'm pretending to be homeless? I'm sorry to hear that you're going through crisis right now, Victoria, but I'm stoked for you that you have such a necessary profession. Well, if I'm obviously pretending, Andrew, man, why are you still here? I don't care if you think I'm faking it. I'm digging granola and raisins out of this hole in my tooth. Well, you don't know how to pluralize words. You used an apostrophe where you shouldn't have, Andreman, so I can dare. I'm not likely to. Well, if that's how you feel, Jess. There are people who do this that get paid to say people's names and hello to them. They get super likes and tips. I can. I'm disinclined to. I'm glad to hear that, Victoria. That's what you think. Okay, Andrew. No, Cynthia, you're on the right track. I cannot afford to a home and pay bills with $100 a month in Patreon subscriptions. You're correct. Okay, well, Jesus was a Semite. He wasn't white. Well, don't leave him alone. Just hit up his Cash App. Andrew, why are you here? I hear you, Dare. Uh-oh. Uh. Hmm. That was unpleasant. Brush your teeth, kids. Hmm. Pretty sure that tooth just broke. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I can't afford it. I've never been able to afford it. It is why you go to the dentist, though. I would like to stop breaking my teeth. That's gross. I didn't mean to do that. But I'm not really homeless. Hmm. I did say I was gonna clean my teeth here on stream. Hmm. Well, that's gross. You say so. If I can't be homeless, you must know something I do. Ah. Yeah. Just hooked a nice hole right through that tooth. Gross. Sorry for that. Didn't mean to make you watch that. Didn't know that would happen. Gross. I was actually talking about this last night. I've been talking about this a lot the last few days because I've been worrying at my teeth because my mental health, I let my mental health get real bad, and I let myself take it out on my teeth because those are a thing that are obviously about your beauty, and so if you're not taking care of your teeth, there's something wrong, and so somebody should reach out to you and be like, hey, are you doing all right? You're not taking care of your teeth. That means you're not taking care of your body. That means your mental health isn't right. And nobody did for months and months and months and months and months and months. So I just took it on myself to fix it, and the damage that I allowed to accrue over that time was irresponsible. Can't be part of a cult. I don't have enough followers. You just don't understand what you're accusing me of. Your accusation can't stick because it can't be right. Because you don't know what you're saying. And so a lot of what I'm doing, a lot of my work, a lot of what I'm doing is about documenting my life, the course that my life has taken for young Shaggies, young Vincents out there, because I didn't have a leader, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have anybody out in the world who was anything at all like me, that wanted that wanted what I want, that had my interests. And I'm gonna lose a bunch of my front teeth over it. And that's embarrassing on some level. But like this morning I was talking about how like overweight people, fat people, just don't understand why they're losing or why they're gaining all that weight, why they can't lose that weight, why their bodies look the way they do. They don't understand what's happening. And that's not what happened with my teeth. I fully understood what I was doing. I just didn't want to be alive, you see. It's something that people who struggle with depression, people that aren't aware of their mental health to the degree that I am. And see, what I tried to do was live the way you do. Just don't care. Don't act like I don't know, so I don't take care. And a lot of my life right now is about showing you what the consequences are. Yeah, you could say that, Victoria. The devil had me convinced. Absolutely, you could say that. There. Monetize my well-being journey with me, he says ironically. Surprised there are still 9 of you here, and that I got... Yeah, we do learn from our mistakes, right. This tooth that I'm going to be missing is a mark. It's a badge that even Shaggy, even Vincent makes mistakes. I grew up when the mythology around Albert Einstein and his hair still meant something. And I internalized it in a different way than you did. I gotta tell you, squatting in the way that I am right now, incredible pain. My pelvic floor is ripped from about my, I don't know, from right here, the small of my back, all the way up and back around my hip. My left leg is about to come completely unattached from my torso as far as the muscles. Ooh, and squatting like this has my belly just hanging out down there, and it hurts like a motherfucker. But I'm not really homeless. This is all an act. God damn it, that hurts. Oh, okay. And that's why I vape. All right, Andrew, the Hagel is enough for me to close you. You're done. Vagus nerve, probably. But I'm herniated on the left side of my perineum. So my penis is hanging out with my left testicle. Oh. But I'm also 6'3", and this tent is only 3 feet tall. So we do. All right, the dog, calm down. I can handle moderating / policing my chat. Let's just all focus on the speaker. Ooh, for a moment. Yeah, I should stop sitting like this, but that's what I'm saying. My tent's only 3 feet tall. That either doesn't have alcohol in it, or I don't have gingivitis anymore. Because that was not an unpleasant experience. It is making me drool like crazy, though. Is that normal? I don't usually use mouthwash. It doesn't have alcohol in it. Well, that was gross. Sorry you had to be a part of that. No, I don't use coffee. Because of my pelvic injury, the diuretic of coffee makes me hurt too much. I do my dookies, the dog, at the Panera that I'm heading to. You know this. You've been here at my channel often enough to know that's the routine of my life. Saying crude things just to say crude things, even though we have a little bit of familiarity, is going to get you removed. That explains why that was happening. The dog, this is the third lap that you've made through my channels this week. I've seen you all 3 days this week. You can play that, I don't know you, but I know you. You have a memorable cat. And I worked retail and customer service for 15 years. I can remember an icon, dumbass. Yeah, I remember you. And you're disruptive every time. So anyway, today I didn't today and go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break a fucking tooth. But it's been waiting. I don't look at myself in the mirror. Is it because I'm ashamed of what I see? Or is it because I know that what I see isn't me? I struggle with that question. I don't know the answer. I used to have nightmares. I used to have recurring nightmares that I would look into mirrors and my face would do things that my face wasn't doing, like laugh at me. And so I've spent a lot of my life, I've eaten a lot of acid. I've eaten a lot of LSD. I have weed in my tent, and I'm pretty stoned right now. In fact, you just watched me put my weed in my pocket. Um, but I've eaten a lot of acid. I use the weed for pain management when my pelvis hurts. But it also helps me with the anxiety of being homeless. Um, my guy, Chris, was telling me that he's struggling with couch surfing, and that's kind of what I'm... No, I don't do sedatives. I don't need to sleep. I need to work. I'll never make an income if I'm sleeping. If I'm sedated, I'll never make an income. I'm here to make an income. I'm here to prove that I can work. I can work. I can read, and I can demonstrate why we need to adult from a much younger age than what we are. I began my adulting. Fuck, I was born adulting. You don't understand what it's like to raise your parents unless you raised your parents. And so you can't describe that to somebody. The trauma, the abuse, the neglect, the unlove, because it was unlove in any word, of having to raise your parents to adult maturity. You just can't understand it, and so there's no point in trying to articulate it to you. That sounds like depression. Maybe I woke up depressed today. I'm 38, Victoria. Maybe I woke up depressed today, but I'm not. I'm not here to talk about that today. There's no point in trying to explain it because you're not my therapist. You understand? And my therapist felt useless because I coped with that so long ago. My therapist would try to bring up my parents, and I'm like, I've already moved on. There's nothing for you there. RGN, does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel good to bitch about whether something is in HD when it's free and it's produced streaming by a homeless person in this beautiful environment? Are you really gonna complain? You don't want to see my ugly face in 4K. I just broke a tooth live. Go away, RGN. Just shove your head all the way up your own ass and roll the fuck out of here. Look, Victoria, I'm impressed that you were able to share that. Yeah, my mother is your age. My mother is 55. And that's not your fault. I'm here to tell you right now, I've done the research. I'm here to talk to your generation too, because I spent so much time trying to teach my parents how to be parents to my siblings that it's not your fault. Your parents fucked all the way off. They fucked all the way off on all of their responsibilities to you. They never gave you an example of how to be an adult, so you had no fucking idea. You had no clue. And that's not your fault. It's like this morning, I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see Mark Maron. Mark Maron, um, part of his new stand-up on Netflix or wherever the fuck it is, HBO, Netflix. He's got a new stand-up special, and he's talking about how badly boomers need to quit and give up and move on to their next stage of life. And I'm just like, irony is Mark Maron telling somebody that they need to know when it's time to move on. Jesus Christ. Mark Maron has been doing the same sad shtick since the 1970s. Talk about not knowing when it's time to move on. That guy has been pissing and moaning about the promises that the Democratic Party haven't followed through on for 50 years. But it's because his parents never gave him an example of what masculinity is, of what adulthood is. He'll tell you that. I used to listen to his podcast, and then I realized that his podcast is just him workshopping his stand-up special, so it's just the same jokes every episode until the new special, and then it's the same jokes again as he's workshopping these jokes that he's already written, and I hate that. And the interviews, he's a bad interview. I don't know how he got 1,600 interviews. He's a terrible interview, but he got some interesting people. Joe Rogan's also a bad interview, by the way. Comedians are they're too focused on themselves to be good interviews. They're too worried about making everything funny, or about shoehorning the act that they're workshopping, or trying to, you see what I'm saying? They're distracted by working. But this is my work, right? That critique, that's social commentary, it sucks. But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's actually got to sit and actually look at all this bullshit that's being produced and then have opinions about it. Somebody's actually got to form the opinion. Because if everybody is just trying to share the ad revenue to make sure that everybody's getting ad revenue, so everybody's getting engagement, the shallowest form of consumption, then it's never getting better. It's only ever getting worse. And yeah, that sounds arrogant, whatever. But somebody's got to do it to get other people to do it. If I do it and I'm not good at it, it'll maybe inspire somebody to actually get good at it. You know, they talk about not being able to teach old dogs new tricks. You can teach old dogs new tricks. They'll just never be as good as a puppy. Hey, Victoria, it starts at validation, okay? Yeah. You know, I don't know the specifics, but you came through it with your kids in your life. I haven't spoken to my mother since 2005, and I prefer when my father doesn't text me. So, coming out the other side where your kids still want to be in your life, that's beautiful and amazing and wonderful, and I love that for you. Because, like you said, we learn from our mistakes, or like was said, we learn from our mistakes. And it's not about, you know, we think that we have to live up to these mythological people, that we have to live up to Alexander the Great, or we have to live up to Charlemagne, or we have to live up to Jesus. And then they make all these claims about them of being perfect kinds of people, and it's like we have to live up to this perfection. And it's like, fuck, we don't. Fuck, we don't. No, you popped a giant herpes sore, pal. Anyway, Ying, I'm headed over to the Panera where I charge my stuff. Sometimes I eat there. I don't exactly remember what I was telling you, Victoria. I remember what I was telling you. Validation. It is about validation. I'm all the time telling, I end up talking to Gemini AI a lot, and I'm all the time telling it, I'm not trying to get you to validate me. I'm just trying to get you to listen to the fact that I said that and acknowledge that I said that. That's all I want. And that's where depression ends. Like, depression begins at feeling like people just aren't accepting the fact that you're speaking. They're just not hearing that you're speaking. And so, yeah, validation is where healing begins. When people say, oh, what you have experienced is valid from your perspective. That's why people get lost in really hard drugs. Plenty of people take advice from a homeless person, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I wasn't homeless my whole life, you fucking idiot. The parts of my life that came before the homelessness put me in position to give advice that you can't receive because you're too stupid, because the experiences of your life have missed you. Please exit so I don't have to remove you. I can no longer see the chat because I'm under direct sunlight, and that's probably for the best of us. But yeah, Victoria and Ying seem to enjoy listening to me talk. And hello, Donald. I live in the woods just on the other side of civilization, and it is a stunningly beautiful Ohio day. Stunningly beautiful corporate dystopia. This fucking parking lot makes me so angry. But I grew up in that time in the 90s when we resented the creation of parking lots. My mother was 17. Yeah, we all look bad. No, I didn't take bad decisions. You don't know my life. How do you know whether they're good or bad? How do you judge good or bad if you don't even know what the decision was? You're just like, oh, it must be bad decisions that led him to a place where he's so content and happy. Oh, it must have been a bad decision. That's cool, Donald. What part of Ohio are you in? I've lived in Columbus and I grew up in Piketon. Grew up is relative. I went to high school in Piketon and my family were from Piketon. My father was from Waverly. It doesn't even make sense to think that I took bad decisions if I'm still healthy, if I'm still eating, if I'm on my way to a Panera that I pay $15 a month to sit at so I can do this. How does it make sense I made bad decisions? I'm not concerned, Slim, about society's opinion of anything because society is filled with stupid people. Yeah, but Fish Penetrator, your name is Fish Penetrator, so your opinion of a homeless person matters nothing to me. You fuck fish. I have plenty of life. You're the one watching my life right now. You couldn't tell me I don't have a life if I didn't have more of a life than you do. You're watching my life for entertainment. And you're telling me that it's bad so you can remind yourself that what you're doing doesn't make any sense. If prison were better than homelessness, I would just find you, Dorsch, and I would beat you into a puddle. Right, bad management. Bad corporate management is why Victoria and I are in the positions that we are in. That's right. That's exactly right. This country lacks leadership. It lacks leadership and it lacks any kind of masculinity of any sort. Well, again, Fish Penetrator, your name is Fish Penetrator. So if you're going to comment on self-management and whether it's good or bad, you need to remember that you are masturbating with the mouth of a fish right now. And that everybody else would think that you are probably not managing your time well. So just continue that. Just continue being the most ironic person I've ever met. I am sarcastically glad to meet you because you are the proof of why I do what I do. And just keep looking, pal. Keep fucking watching. Yeah, the homeless. But at least I don't fuck fish and tell people about it. All right, this guy in his Miata has stopped, and I guess he thinks that he needs an ass beating today while we're on live. So you get to watch this happen. It's what I thought. These people, it can't be a crime. It can't be a crime if he's in a vehicle menacing me in the state of Ohio. I have the right to stand my ground. It's called a castle law. I've actually already talked about this with the sheriff and the police chief of this town. That if somebody approaches me, I'm allowed to beat them to death if I so choose, and they can't charge me with a crime because I'm in Ohio and I'm defended by castle law. So if that guy in his car wants to stop and take pictures of me and call the cops and let them know that I'm walking in the street with my phone out taking video like I'm allowed to do, like has already happened 5 times, I'm allowed to do this because I live in the United States where we have something called a First Amendment. So you can all fuck yourselves if you think I'm not allowed to do this. Well, here's the thing. Fool is it's a religious position that's also protected by every single religious tradition ever. So if I'm being a fool, I'm being a religious hero. So again, I want you to bend over, fucking shove your head up your ass and roll the fuck on. No, Donald, I cannot stop cursing. What I have is called pathological demand avoidance and intermittent explosivity disorder, and my life was just threatened. I'm high on adrenaline, clearly shaking, and I will not moderate my language for anyone, most especially someone who's not sending me money. Fuck you. My husband's probably fucking your mom right now, Mikey. I already have a job application. It's called your mom, fish penetrator. I have the right of way! This is my life. Dumb shit almost hit me making a left turn. How the fuck do you not look to your left when you're making a left turn? But no, own a car. Be so much better than me because you own a car. Just watch that guy blow a red light. That's not dangerous. No, you're so much better than me because you own a car. That's wonderful, No Beta. Thank you for trying to make my day. I love you. Mikey, the only thing about me and crack and pipes and blowing is your mother blowing me between hits from your crack pipe. No, I'm not okay, Lord. Owning a car in America is the ultimate form of debt. I should introduce you, Old Glory, to the fucking front side of my shoe. What do you think is long, Lord? I've almost died twice on this stream. Are you fucking kidding me? Rewind. You know you can scroll back, right? Anyway, I'm here.